Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the editor-in-chief of Total Retail, and I am here at the CRMC show in Chicago, and I'm excited to be joined on this episode by Erin Malone, who is the Director of Digital Strategy and Analytics at Free People. We're going to talk to Erin a little bit about the Free People business, as well as kind of her work within the organization. She actually was a presenter here at CRMC, so we're going to talk about that as well. So thanks for joining me today, Erin.
Thanks so much for having me, Joe.
So tell us a little bit about your role with Free People. I mentioned your title, but tell us a little bit about kind of your piece of the business and then general overview of the Free People brand for those that might not yet be familiar with it.
So starting with a little bit about Free People, we are a lifestyle brand located in Philadelphia. We cover really everything from activewear, loungewear, all the way through to casual, everyday wear, and then including some lines in the health and wellness space. We have a few internal brands ourselves as well, including FP Movement, which is our activewear line, We the Free, which is our heritage-inspired staples, Freest, our most recent addition to our kind of family of sub-brands. It's kind of our resort-focused product line, as well as Intimately, which is our intimates line. And then just, I guess, to answer your other question, as far as my role in digital strategy and analytics, so I oversee a few different teams within Free People, digital marketing, so primarily focused on performance marketing and working closely with our brand marketing teams. Also cover analytics, so everything from marketing analytics, digital analytics, CRO, UX, UI, and really making sure that the site experience is kind of tip-top shape. And then our customer analytics and insight space. So really making sure that we understand our customer from both a data perspective, as well as like more of the anecdotal and tying it all together to really understand that full customer journey.
So part of that you just talked about was keeping the site optimized in tip-top shape for your visitors. You spoke here yesterday at CRMC about optimizing that online experience, specifically the discovery process for Free People shoppers. So can you go into a little bit about what that entails?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think first and foremost, I think we have a very much like a test and learn mindset. So trying to just be fast and agile and quickly optimizing and learning what we can about the site. But what we were starting to key into yesterday in our presentation was trying to get a little bit beyond just intent signals through behavioral data and starting to get a little bit more into customer motivators and what's really, pushing the customer into whatever journey that they're in or whatever part of the journey that they're in. So right now, you may have heard of like the phrase zero-party data. Again, when we kind of went back and started auditing our data and trying to understand what were all these different signals along the purchasing journey telling us, we understood we had a really good scope of first-party data. We partner with, great external partners to make sure we have tip-top third-party data. But then what we felt like we were missing was, what is that like customer motivator? We could see that customers were searching for something or kind of coming through the journey that way. And we were making assumptions about what it is that they were looking for. But that could be misleading. We understood that there was a little bit of ambiguity in that. So starting to think about how can we key into exactly what it is or what is the problem that this customer is trying to solve? Are they just looking for inspiration? Do they need a little bit of help piecing together an outfit? Or, are they looking for a very specific outfit for this weekend? And so really starting to try and key into those motivating factors.
So as you go about that process of learning more about the customer's motivation and then layering that on top of their behavior, it allows you to then potentially personalize their experience as they shop with Free People. Tell us a little bit about the types of personalized shopping experiences that you're looking to create online, whether it be recommendations, and not just online, I guess through marketing and through every kind of interaction that you're having with the customer.
Yeah, definitely. I think recommendations are obviously a huge piece of that from both any of our like outbound touching contact points through to the site experience as well. I think one of the things we're really excited about is our kind of online fit finder and or like shopping quizzes. So we've partnered with a vendor called Jebbit, which is who we were presenting with yesterday, to create basically like a fun, engaging way to our customer to basically give us a little bit more feedback about, again, the specifics that they're looking for. Again, when we were kind of thinking about what are the needs of a customer, trying to narrow down on the products that they're looking for, obviously the area that immediately you start thinking about is site filters. So how can a customer go and select the right attributes and, narrow down our broad selection into what it is that they're looking for. However, again, it just felt like maybe this wasn't like the funnest way to do it, or it's making the assumption that the customer knows exactly what those attributes that they need and want are. So we wanted to come up with a way that our customers could give us a little bit more information about, okay, what is it exactly you're looking for from an event perspective? Where are you going to wear this? What are the problems with this specific item? I always go to the example of like a pair of jeans. Buying jeans is like a very emotional experience. And so making sure that you're finding the right fit and the right length, and, it's going to serve multiple purposes. So we partnered with Jebbit to create these. Again, it's almost like a kind of fun quiz to make a fit finder. So one of our first experiences we launched was a denim fit finder, where rather than just focusing on the type of jean that you were looking for, we wanted to understand, okay, what is the problem that you're having with your jeans today? How can we solve that for you? And how can we provide you some recommendations?
How is that served up to the customer? So if they come to the Free People site, is it a pop-up that immediately displays? How do they provide that information to you through the Jebbit tool?
Yeah, we've tried to keep it like fairly unobtrusive. So you would basically see the option to select into the Fit Finder. We're definitely not trying to, if you just want to browse, and we're not trying to put pop-ups all over your experience and interfere with your browsing. But it's there and very visible at the top of the page if you want to sort of like jump into that and click through and understand what the right jeans might be for you.
So thinking about kind of measurement, as we talked about the experience, and if you're getting it right, what are the metrics that you're looking at or monitoring to measure the effectiveness of a digital strategy, and how's that change depending on the type of customer?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously the thing that we're looking at first and foremost is sales. But then we are really tuned into making sure we're getting the right customer mix at any given point and making sure that we're fueling the full funnel. So we want to make sure we have the right proportion of new customers coming in. And this is a great signal to just make sure, right, that we have the right mix of marketing, making sure that we are working on both awareness and consideration at the same time as that we're optimizing those who are ready to make a purchase. I think when we kind of get down a little bit more into the site experience, so specifically I think some of the features I was talking about earlier, we understand that like low engagement is not no engagement. Just because you build an experience, it doesn't mean it necessarily has to be tailored to every single customer. Sometimes building something that's a little bit more general could potentially lose some of the value it adds for the specific customers that you're trying to serve. So when we go into building these experiences, or something like our denim fit finder, or our a gift finder was another one that we did, we're focused on a very specific set of customers, a customer that is ready to have the conversation, who is looking for the value and the engagement and wants to kind of, provide that two-way interaction or engage with us in that manner. And then is also looking for, either those recommendations or a different type of value beyond just like scrolling through the product or looking at a recommendation tray. So in those instances, we started building these experiences not necessarily as a sales driver, but to capture data. And so, there's obviously an intrinsic value of the data that we're collecting through that. And in return, obviously providing some value to this customer in the outputs that we're providing. And then things like lead gen, we are collecting emails at the same time. So we've generated a pretty good new to file rate by injecting that as part of the experience. Also looking at things like time on site. So again, this is much more of like an engagement focus, and how can we provide a moment to kind of influence or entertain our customers beyond just serving them products all the time.
And it might be early days to measure this, but I would imagine lifetime value too. If loyalty, if they get an experience, whether they're using the Fit Finder tool or they're getting the right recommendations served up to them, that they might come back. They're more likely to come back and shop with Free People again.
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, then you're getting like customer declared data. We are no longer needing to make inferences about specifically what you're trying to do. We can literally say, okay, this customer wants X, Y, or Z. We know exactly what you're looking for at that time because you have directly told us.
Great. Well, I want to take the opportunity to thank Erin Malone, the Director of Digital Strategy and Analytics at Free People, for joining me on today's episode of Total Retail Talks. Thank you, Erin.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talk.